Yeah, obviously a tough game against a tough opponent. Obviously we had some unique lineups in the game today, and I was proud of the way our team fought. I mean, we gave up 19 offensive rebounds. That's can't win a lot of games given second chance opportunities that much. And we went 0 for 19 from the three-point line, which is very uncharacteristic of us. I think if we shoot the ball better, keep them off the offensive glass, I think we have an excellent chance of winning that basketball game. I was proud of the way our team fought. Even though things weren't going our way, we were out of rhythm. We're trying to play without a point guard right now, a seasoned point guard. I thought Megan Murray came off the bench in her first game as a freshman and did a solid job, but that's a tall task for her. Really nice performances offensively out of Riley, getting to the free throw line, drawing 10 fouls, and getting to the free throw line, which was a bright spot. I thought Journey Hildebrand came off the bench and gave us a spark in the second half. But that's a tough thing for Jenna to come in, and now she's handling the basketball when she's usually running up the court and getting it, and we're asking her to run offense more in a point guard role. So it takes a while to adjust to that, and we'll just have to get better. As we go, as we're getting players back and healthy, that will help things. I think it'll kind of reset the balance for us a little bit. But like I said, I was proud of our fight. We had some opportunities in that game to get down even bigger, and came back and made it a real ball game in the fourth quarter, and had a couple of those three-point shot open looks and three-point shots gone down. I think, like I said, I think it would have been either really interesting. We had it cut to 4 a few possessions with the ball, and we had a couple costly turnovers and some missed shots, and would have been nice to see those things happen. But overall, proud of our performance and not giving up. But I got to coach them better. We've got to figure out how to work with rotations a little bit better.
No questions for student athletes first.
Riley, coach said it, 10 fouls drawn, but no personal fouls on your side. Can you just talk about, keeping the team in it when shots aren't falling, and they didn't fall from the start through the end, but going to the line and, taking care of business there?
Yeah, we just, in the huddles as a team, we just talked about, keep taking our shots, like they'll fall eventually. Just staying aggressive for me personally, like I know our shots aren't going in, but staying aggressive and trying to get to the line is always a great opportunity, and we just tried to keep our poise as a team.
And then Jenna, coach kind of talked about you kind of taking on an added role as the bringing ball up the court. What challenges does that kind of present you versus maybe, going to the corner, finding your spot, coming off of a backdoor screen or things such as that?
Yeah, like you said, I'm used to, with a traditional point guard, running up the floor and really pushing it in transition. That's kind of been one of my specialties, but obviously now I have to adjust to go get the ball from whoever rebounds it, and handle pressure, which is something I'm capable of, but just something I have to get more used to, and I got to do better at getting the team into offense, because I think their pressure kind of took us out of a lot of things, and I personally too, I felt like rushed into sets and stuff like that. So I got to do better with just slowing down, getting everyone set, and then getting our action set and run it.
So Riley, 20 big points. How do you expect that scoring to carry over into the season for you?
It's a great start to season, but not putting any expectations to myself, just letting the game come to me every game and playing off of my teammates.
And then Jenna, there were some struggles today. What kind of defensive coverages were they throwing at you? They were throwing you off.
They were hedging really hard on every ball screen, which threw me off a little bit, but also I think just like I kind of said before, running the point guard spot is something that I'm not used to starting plays in that position, so I think that threw me off a little bit, but that's something that we'll figure out, and we got to work with different rotations. But yeah, they were really physical, really aggressive. We didn't get very many foul calls on that stuff, hand checks or anything like that, but you just got to be able to play through that stuff and not expect fouls, I guess.
Anything else for your student athletes? I think you're good to go.
All right, thanks.
Thanks.
especially in the first half. There was a lot of loose balls from rebounds that unfortunately didn't fall in your guys' hands. There was some trouble fighting through screens that led to some open shot opportunities for them. What can you say about your team's aggressiveness and just ability to finish the play that you guys can work on later?
Yeah, I would have liked to. That's a good question. I would have liked to seen us play a little bit more physical, more aggressive. I mean, we knew that they were going to be a physical team, and you have to adjust to the whistle, right? And so they did a really good job of kind of taking us out of our stuff. We didn't respond to that the way I would like to. We talked about we had to figure out how to solve the offensive rebound issues in the second half. I mean, they had 12 first-half offensive rebounds and only 7 in the second half, but sometimes it's about the timing of those that's really difficult. We had some key possessions where we either had turnovers on the offensive end or missed wide-open shots, and then on the defensive end, we gave them too many second-chance opportunities on key possessions down the stretch. Like I said, it was a 4-point game for a long time. We had probably 3 or 4 possessions where I think probably I have to go back and look at the film, but maybe 2 of those possessions we got really good looks, and 2 of those we got turnovers. You can't come up empty on those 4 possessions. You gotta cut into that lead. Cut it to a 1-possession game, and then it changes the dynamic a little bit. We weren't able to do that, and then they were able to kind of come out of a timeout and kind of put a little spurt on us to get it back to like 8 or so, I think it was. And we never really kind of could get back above that, back below that. So, like I said, overall, I'm not pleased, and we're never going to be satisfied with losing. I don't care who it's against, and for whatever reason. But so we won't get comfortable with that, believe me. But I am proud of the fact that this team found a way to continue to fight against a really good team, shorthanded, and we've got capable players. We've got some players that are down the bench that maybe are being forced into some roles they didn't expect to have, and it's their time to step up. And so it'll happen. It's early. It's November the 4th. Our focus is on this team improving as we move forward. And we'll address some of those issues that you talked about for sure.
Yeah, and you mentioned the 3-point shooting struggles. On the offensive end, it kind of looked like there was some clunkiness with the spacing, some miscommunication a little bit. Was that kind of on James Madison's end, just with good defensive coverages and schemes, or just?
I thought they're a much improved defensive team from last year. I thought their hedging kind of threw us off without having natural ball handlers with the ball in their hand. And you got to look at it too. We had two true freshmen out there playing major minutes against a Sun Belt team that's picked to win it, and Riley in her first game with us. So like I said, I think that's gonna lend itself to some of the awkwardness, clunkiness that you said in execution, because you can't replicate game experience. And when you have that many players that are out there that are playing, major minutes in a big game, it's going to look a little bit off until they get into a rhythm. And we'll get better. We'll improve that, no question.
And your team showed some promise in the fourth quarter. That comeback came a little bit short. What impressed you with the fight?
Yeah, just what I talked about before. I mean, there were opportunities to give in. I thought we just it was an ugly game. I'm sure it wasn't the most fun game to watch. I mean, seeing all the missed shots from us. I mean, we for the game, 0% from 3, and 31% overall. I mean, it's like to have those shooting numbers and to still have an opportunity to win the game in the fourth quarter. That, to me, that represents a team that's willing to compete. And so I called them out on that, and they responded, and I'm happy to see that this team is willing to step up and compete when things get tough.
Despite the shooting percentage what it was, it didn't feel like there were many forced shots. Can you take a little solace in that, knowing that even though shots weren't falling, no one seemed to really be forcing ill-advised shots up?
Yeah, I mean, overall, there were. I would have liked us to be a little bit more aggressive in certain spots and get in the basket. I really like how we were feeding the post and getting the ball to Riley, because I thought that we certainly wanted to attack them in the paint. Obviously, some of our offensive execution looked really off, out of rhythm. But given that, I agree. I still thought that we got a lot of good rhythm threes, shots that normally fall for us. And like I said, that cold a shooting night at home to start the season, maybe it was because our rhythm was thrown off a little bit. Everybody was a little bit sped up. But you'd think we'd knock down a few of those.
And then you made mention to it, but can you just expand a little bit on Journey and Megan coming in as true freshmen and putting up good efforts tonight? Journey 4 for 6 from the field, percentage-wise, the best shooter on the night for you.
Yeah, and Megan handling the ball, only having 2 turnovers as much time as she had the ball in her hands. I mean, both of them, they're both talented players and are tough competitors. And once again, we did not expect to have both of those players forced into this role this early in their career. Typically, players like that are going to get a little bit of learning curve to kind of come in. But after they got the first little jitters out, I thought that they certainly helped us. And Journey's spark there in the third quarter was a lot of fun to watch. I know everybody got excited about that. And she's a player that's talented enough to do those things, especially offensively.
So then just next up, Walsh. What are some thoughts heading into that matchup?
Yeah, to be honest with you, I haven't spent any time really looking at Walsh. This was a big game for us. I've been focused on that. We've got a great staff that already has that stuff broken down, and looking forward to that opportunity to get back out on the court in front of our fans. That's certainly not a game we're looking past. We're looking at this as an opportunity for us to get better, which is what every game is. Believe me, we're going to be fully focused on practice the next 2 days in our next home game against Walsh. So that's our job as coaches, is to prepare them for the next opponent up.
Anything else, Coach? All right. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Thank you.